What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Independent Experience. I'm Indy XP, and we're coming to you again this morning, Tuesday, April 14th, 2020. We had some great gains overnight. Let's go ahead and take a look at the big board and see where we're going to be jumping into this morning at. As of 8:15 Eastern Standard Time this morning, check local listings. Gold is up at $17.39.67. Silver is also up nicely at $15.69, giving us a ratio of 1:10.91. Platinum is up, currently at $784.35, and palladium has made a nice gains, currently at $23.09.40. In other metals markets, rhodium held steady yesterday. It's going to be going off at $7,000 an ounce today. Copper is up very nicely, up 8 cents, currently at $2.31 a pound. And aluminum is also up very nicely. It is currently at 65 cents a pound. Barrels of crude oil are down despite the OPEC Plus agreement that we had Sunday evening. It's going to take a while for it to turn around, but barrels are down, currently at 21.78. The Dow Jones, NASDAQ, and S&P 500 had kind of an up and down day yesterday. The Dow closed down 328 points at 23,390.77. The NASDAQ was up 38 points, closing out at 81.92.42, and the S&P 500 was down 28 points at 27.61.63. The futures, overnight futures for today do report that the Dow is up about 200 points. I think that that's probably going to be erased pretty early on. We'll see how that goes. I'm not a financial advisor, but I just have a feeling that those gains that we see in the futures probably will not be sustained today. If you guys follow the Bitcoin market, held pretty steady overnight. Not much movement. We're currently at 68.2986. If you guys trade in the Utah Gold back, it is steady at $2.97. In today's video, I wanted to read an article from the Washington Post. This was just published here just a few hours ago by Tony Rome. This is an article detailing the financial shortfalls that pretty much every metropolitan town and city here in the United States is going to be facing here this year. Speaking from the standpoint of somebody who has been an elected official locally in a pretty large area, I've faced this myself in 2008. We'll get to that here at the end of the article and kind of give you my take on it. But this article starts off, more than 2,100 U.S. cities are anticipating major budget shortfalls this year, and many are planning to slash programs and cut staff in response, according to a new survey of local officials released Tuesday, illustrating the widespread financial havoc threatened by the coronavirus pandemic. The bleak outlook shared by local governments representing nearly 93 million people nationwide led some top mayors and other leaders to call for greater federal aid to protect cities now forced to choose between balancing their cash-strapped ledgers and sustaining the public services that residents need most. Quote, "There's no question that the coronavirus pandemic has led and will have a major impact on cities of all sizes," end quote, said Clarence Anthony, the executive director of the National League of Cities. I used to be a member of the National League of Cities. The NLC joined with the U.S. Conference of Mayors to conduct early inquiry into the economic effects of the novel coronavirus, finding that many local governments are bracing for sharp declines in tax revenue as businesses shutter, workers lose their jobs in record numbers, and tourism grinds to a halt. Nearly 9 in 10 cities surveyed. I'm going to repeat that. So this is the staggering part of the article, guys. This paragraph here is frightening at best. Nearly 9 in 10 cities surveyed, from small hubs of populations fewer of 50,000 to the largest metropolitan areas in the country, signaled that they expect revenue shortfall. 9 in 10, 90%. Among them, more than 1,100 cities, so more than half, are preparing to scale back their public services, the survey found. More than 600 cities predicted that they will have to lay off some government workers amid the crunch, and local leaders in 1,000 cities said that reductions probably will affect their local police department and other public safety agencies. Wow, guys, we're talking about 90% of cities of 50,000 or more here in the United States having budget shortfalls this year. This is not going to be a fun year, even after the coronavirus pandemic is cooled down. The findings inject new urgency into the simmering congressional debate over Washington's role in safeguarding cash-starved cities and states from financial ruin. Local governments generally cannot run deficits, unlike the nation's government, leaving them no choice but to slash their spending or raise taxes absent of more federal support. On Monday, President Trump signaled that more financial aid isn't out of the question, saying that he is, quote, certainly willing to look at that, end quote. This jumps into a few examples of larger cities. Let's go ahead and touch on those real quick. In the meantime, city officials have pointed to major financial struggles on the horizon. San Francisco leaders say that they anticipate a budget shortfall as high as $1.7 billion over the next 2 fiscal years, which brings up a good point. This just doesn't hurt us in 2020. 2021 and moving forward into 22 and 23, where those budgets are decided this year, moving forward, it's going to affect those budgets for the next 3 or 4 years, actually. New York Mayor Bill de Blasio proposed a freeze on hiring and a $1.3 billion in cuts to his budget, citing sharp drops in tax revenue in what's become the epicenter of the U.S. outbreak. In Chicago, a city where lingering economic woes could exacerbate the downturn, aide said that they anticipate $470 million in new federal help, but added that they are still in conversation with Congress to seek additional aid, said Lori Huffman, spokesman for Mayor Lori Lightfoot. Philadelphia leaders are anticipating difficult cuts of their own still to come. This article continues. It goes on to discuss other cities throughout the U.S. So speaking from the standpoint of somebody who when I was an elected official, I was on the county council in a county that has over 150,000 population. So a pretty large county. It's not, here in Indiana, it's just west of Indianapolis. So, it's a lot of bedroom communities and warehouses, and it's where, part of the airport's there, the racetrack's there. Lots of revenue that comes in. Well, during the housing crisis, 2008, 2009, 2010, we had to cut budgets hard. We went from an annual budget of $46 million down to an annual budget of $35 million. So we cut over 20% out of the budget in 1 year. And that there was some really, really, really hard decisions that were made. And it was one of the toughest things I've ever had to do. Here locally, I've already heard reports of some agencies that are going to have to close, that won't be able to reopen anytime soon. There's been 2 local libraries systems here in central Indiana that I've already heard of that are going to be closing up because they are out of money. They depend on money coming in to fund money going out, which is what a lot of cities have to do. And that's why you're going to see these shortfalls. larger cities. One of the cities that wasn't listed in that article that is going to be hit incredibly hard is Orlando, I think. Orlando, obviously, it's not on a beach. There's no beach there to draw people in. The only thing they have that's bringing people in is Disney World and the convention center. And none of those are going to happen anytime soon. Disney World's probably going to be closed for at least another month or two. The convention center, they might start opening back up maybe in June or July. But those are the two main revenue sources for Orlando, and those are gone for months at a time. I don't care how good you are with your budget. There's no way that you can account for a loss of 3 months of revenue. So it's, that's going to be a city that's going to be hurting really bad by the end of the year. Indianapolis, here, we use we have special taxes that get paid every time you go out to eat, every time you go out to drink, every time you stay at a hotel, that pay for our stadiums. So we're going to miss our payments on our stadiums now. That'll just put us back and even further back on paid off. We still have a stadium that we built in 1984 for the Indianapolis Colts that we're still paying on to this day. And even though we blew up the stadium 10 years ago, we're still paying for it. I think the budget shortfalls are one of the things that, us here in the stacking community really haven't thought about, because, we're out here doing our own thing and enjoying life. But it's going to be something that we're all going to have to take a really hard look at here real soon, because it's coming down the pike. So let me know, guys, what you guys think down in the comments. Maybe what your city or town is going to be experiencing or has already started to experience. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. If you guys enjoyed today's video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button right there. If you happen to be new to the independent experience and you want more silver and gold related content, go ahead and smash that subscribe and jingle bell right there in the corner, ping pong, so you can be notified of when new content is coming out. I'm going to post a link, this card right here, to yesterday's video. If you want to get some more content, go ahead and click there. Guys, I do greatly appreciate every single one of you. I've been Indy XP from the Independent Experience, and if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find your pockets heavy.